Hey guys, Woods Farm here, Project 222, just back out in the shop working on the Scout Car. Today we're going to be finishing up some loose ends and some smaller little projects, and we're going to finally get around to finishing up the trim on the engine deck cover, so stick around and check it out. Okay guys, in the last video we finally got the toolbox, the storage bin on the driver's side completed. That was a really big part of this project, so I'm happy that that's done and out of the way. We're going to move on. There's a lot of little things that need to get completed. I've got some welding, some seam welding to do around the rear fenders. I want to try to get that done. And of course, I've been working on this engine deck trying to get that done. So we're going to finish that up in this video. There's the engine deck, and I know in the last couple of videos I keep saying I'm going to get to it. Today's the day. It's just a little bit of trim work that needs to be finished up anyways, and then give it some primer, and that'll be completed. Okay, so one little small project that I want to finish up is there is a plate that goes in this space here, just a piece of check plate. The actual jack gets mounted here. Depending on the version, sometimes the jack is mounted on the other side, but we're probably going to put ours here. But there's a little piece of check plate that fills this gap. We want to get that done. And there's also a little bit of seam welding on the around the fender area before I can clean this up and prime it. So we got to work on that too. One thing I want to start thinking about as we kind of get the engine deck completed is finishing up the tow hooks. I got to figure out something for tow hooks. So that's going to be coming up soon. Okay guys, while I have the toolbox off, I'm going to go ahead and do some seam welding on that rear fender in that forward kind of corner side area. It's kind of tight to get in there with the toolbox. Might as well do it now, get that out of the way, and then we'll go ahead, put the toolbox back on, and that'll allow us to bolt in that step plate that goes in between the fender and the toolbox. Okay guys, we've got the toolbox back on, at least temporarily, and that just allowed me to fit the plate in there. It's just held in place with 6 bolts, bolting it to the box and to the fender. And like I mentioned, I did a bit of the seam welding in here on the fender. Also, another thing that needed to get done is there was a seam here that was welded between this plate here and this plate. There was a few little spots, little places that needed to get filled in, so I used some JB Weld to do that. Next thing when it comes to the fender is to continue doing the seam welding on our way towards the rear. Get that out of the way, and then we can actually probably prime some of this and get it painted up. Okay guys, I think the next step is to finish up the engine deck. We need to do the trim around the 2 side hatches to get that completed. I think after that I'm going to work on fabricating up a bracket to support the upper rad hose. And we finally want to do the cooling system. I've got to change out that water pump, add the fan, and do all that kind of stuff to try to get the cooling system working a lot better. We're getting close to the point where I'm going to actually pull off the turret. We're going to bring the turret off, move the vehicle out, and put it in the storage shed temporarily, so we'll have space to finish up a lot of the detail work on the turret. So that'll be coming up soon as well. So I've got the engine deck up on the workbench, and basically we are going to be adding some angle around the side openings, just some trim pieces, fairly straightforward. Also, now that I've got it on the bench here, it looks like I got to do a little bit of seam welding in certain spots and get that finished up. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Basically got most of the engine deck completed. I've got a light coat of primer on it. Ran out of primer. I'll pick up some tomorrow and I'll finish that part of the painting. But basically it's completed and finished. I think in the next video, we're going to be moving on to doing some mechanical work with the engine. We're going to replace the water pump and make a bracket for that upper rad hose. Probably start doing some seam welding on the other side. That rear fender needs some welding as well to get finished up. So those are the kind of things we're going to be working on in the upcoming videos. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching.